Okay, so today we're going to read Pete the Cat and his 4 groovy buttons. Now there's a song that I want everyone to sing whenever I put the number 4, 3, 2, and 1 up. The song is My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Can everyone repeat that with me? My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. So what happens first is Pete the Cat. He put on his favorite shirt with his 4 big, colorful, round, groovy buttons. He loved his buttons so much that he sang this song. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 4 groovy buttons. Pop, oh no. One of the buttons popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? Can anyone guess how many are left?
3.
3. So 4 minus 1 is 3. So if he lost 1 button, do you think that he's going to have 3 buttons left on his shirt?
Yes.
Okay. So, did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept singing his song. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 3 groovy buttons. So if there's 3 left on his shirt and he loses 1 more, how many are going to be left? Does anyone know? Yes.
2.
Pop, oh no, another button popped off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? 2. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. He kept singing his song. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. My buttons, my 2 groovy buttons. Pop, oh no, another button rolled off and rolled away. How many buttons are left? So if he had 2 buttons and 1 popped off, how many are left? Anyone? 1. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. So he kept on singing this song. My buttons, my 1 groovy button. My button, my 1 groovy button. Pop, oh no. The last button popped off and rolled away. So if the last one popped off, how many are left? Anyone? None. So the last button popped off, how many are left? 0. Did Pete cry? Goodness no. Buttons come and buttons go. But if there's no buttons left, what does he see? Pete looked down at the buttonless shirt, and what do you think he saw? His belly button. But he kept on singing the same song. My buttons still have my belly button. My buttons still have my belly button. I guess it simply goes to show that stuff will come and stuff will go. But do we cry? Goodness no. We kept on singing, my buttons come, my buttons go.